The N-Zap is another weapon with a Sheldon's Pick variant, having 3 total sets. The first of which is unlocked at level 5, the N-Zap 85. This one might be designed for shooting ducks, but it's just as good at shooting squids. If you're good with the Splattershot Jr. and want to pick up a new weapon, this might be what you're looking for. It's incredibly similar to the Junior in core stats, in that the only differences are higher range and tighter accuracy. Due to each shot having low damage, the N-Zap manages to rapid fire without needing to reload all that often. When fighting up close, it can outpace a lot of other weapons in damage, and it's even a very certain 4-hit kill. The only way that defense up can turn it into a 5-hit kill is if your enemy has 3 main defense ups. Its sub is the Splat Bomb, once again looking awfully similar to the little Splattershot Jr., aren't ya? It sounds like I'm about to pinch its cheek. Anyway, as always, good at flushing foes out where you know they're hiding, good at manipulating their movement, good at throwing them behind them and sweeping fire forward to get an easy kill. It's just a good complement to this, and the longer range makes it a bit more helpful than it does on the Splattershot Jr. Its special is the Echo Locator, which is, once again, very welcome on a weapon that's about continuous fire and accurate shots. Makes aiming and shooting a lot easier for first-timers, but does a good job helping the entire team and putting pressure on them. In the way of equipment, I especially want to recommend Run Speed Up. It is excellent on the N-Zap, as it has fast strafing speed as it is. This makes it even better, and it helps it cover the ground a lot faster. Since the shots are very straight and very accurate, it's not going to cover the ground nearly as fast as a Splattershot Jr., but this will help it in doing so that you can keep that echolocator going again and again and again. Second variant, unlocked at level 8, is the N-Zap 89. Sheldon says it has an updated design for legal reasons, which has a surprisingly dark story behind it. Basically, there were incidents throughout the US in the 80s in which water guns looked too similar to real guns, leading kids to mistake real guns for toys. This led to legislation that required toy guns to be made unmistakably different in appearance from real weapons, causing Nintendo to have to redesign the NES Zapper to look this way. Anyway, enough depressing trivia. The N-Zap 89 is identical to stats to the 85, much like in the real world. Even the special drain is the same. The sub-weapon on the 89 is a first. Not too many firsts left to go, but this still manages to be one. Sprinkler. This is the drone of Splatoon, spraying ink automatically in a circle around itself until destroyed by an enemy attack or until a new one is placed. It sticks to almost any surface, including walls, ceilings, lampposts, so many things. Look around the stage in recon mode and test the limits of what sprinklers can be attached to. You might be surprised by the sorts of things that it can actually stick onto. The higher the placement, the larger the paint spread, similar to using a roller or a slosher while jumping. A favorite of mine is sticking it to the underside of the bridge above Bluefin Depot. It's out of most weapons' range, and people find it so frustrating to deal with. The ink from a sprinkler does only 30 damage, but it's an annoyance that the enemy will want gone, especially in splat zones, so it makes for good bait. Another interesting use for it is to stick it on a moving platform, like the forklifts on Port Mackerel, the rotating platforms on Museum d'Alfonsino, or the crane on Salt Spray Rig. It not only covers large amounts of turf, but it makes it more time-consuming to destroy from a distance. Similar to the Squid Beacon, it takes a short time to destroy and can be used as a very, very short-term shield, though it does take a bit to activate. Any turf that the sprinkler covers awards you points as if you shot and covered the ground yourself, so it's always an easy way to build up your special quickly regardless of what set it's on. By inking so much more turf, it gets to use its special even more often, which, by coincidence, is the Ink Stray. By being able to ink more turf with the sprinkler, it gets to use this a ton. Using it a lot will, in turn, ink even more turf more often. Basically, it's a less aggressive version that's well-suited for turf wars and for splat zones. You might be wondering why Bomb Range Up isn't here, and it doesn't affect sprinklers. It affects lots of other things that aren't bombs like disruptors and point sensors, but not sprinklers. I only just found out about that a few weeks ago, and I've seen a lot of other people get this wrong too, but it doesn't. Then last, the Trinity wouldn't be complete without the Famicom version. The N-Zap 83 is a Sheldon's Pick, meaning that of course you will unlock it at level 20. It has the same stats, but its special depletion is medium this time. Its sub-weapon is a first, Point Sensor. Think of it like an echolocator as a sub-weapon. The trade-off is that it will only track enemies that are hit by the blast. It tracks for 8 seconds, though this will not always be exact, as the timer can be affected by other players' lag, And just like with echolocators, some of the time can be mitigated if they're packing cold-blooded on their shirt. Though it covers the most surface area when thrown at the ground, it can be thrown at walls and start tracking players on the other side of an obstacle as long as they're within the blast area. On the note of blast, yes, the sub is improved with bomb range up. It might sound a little bit underwhelming, and I'll definitely agree that it's not the most spectacular sub-weapon out there. Plus, a lot of people look at it and compare it to the Disruptor and think the Disruptor is just the same thing, only better. But there's three major differences why you would want to play a point sensor over a Disruptor. One is obviously that an echolocator points out an enemy to your entire team and not just people that are within eye shot of them. Second is that the blast area is a lot bigger, so you're a lot more likely to tag multiple enemies at one time. Third is that it's dirt cheap. Without carrying any Inksaver sub, it can already be used twice without needing to reload and still give you a respectable amount of ink left over. Its special is the Kraken. With run speed up, you'll be able to build this up a heck of a lot quicker because the turf coverage on the N-Zap is so much better with it. Of course, Kraken is one of the most versatile specials out there, but on this particular set, do not underestimate the combination of Point Sensor Kraken. It's one of the best things about the Point Sensor. It's a seriously underrated combo that not many people talk about, and it's one of my personal favorites. Of course, with any Kraken weapon, consider special charge up, consider special duration up, consider swim speed up. Makes sense.